Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Canion. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Canion, and I'm your host. And I'm also the best self-help book of 2018. You have to laugh to keep from crying, How to Parent Your Parent. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Zane Carson Carruth. Now she's going to take us far, far away into a world in Hollow, where a young fairy begins her adventures. Welcome, Zane.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You know, the first thing we'd love to know is to give us a little bit of background about your family.
Well, my mother's of Minorcan descent, and she and my dad both grew up in St. Augustine, Florida, which is a lot of Minorcans there. But I got my name because my mother actually went to school with a young lady named Zane, it was unusual when I was named Zane at my age, but back then I can't even imagine what that poor girl went through.
Oh my gosh, but it's a beautiful name. And it's Carson. It's Carson.
Yeah, my maiden name is Carson, yes.
I have a grandson, and his mother's maiden name was Carson, so his middle name is Carson. So I thought,
yay!
What a coincidence. And but I'm so excited about your adventure with the fairies. I have 20 grandchildren. So, you know, I'm going to have to get your books. Yes, yes. Well, tell us how you got started, you know, the Tooth Fairy. You know, you started on a Tooth Fairy adventure.
Well, I always pretended to play Tooth Fairies, you know, when I was a little kid. But then one day my daughter was away, and I just grabbed a spiral notebook and started writing. And I was just writing about the Tooth Fairy, and the book wrote itself. I had no idea it was going to be about the Tooth Fairy until she dropped her purse and lost that pearl. And then, I don't know if you've read the book, but then it just kind of evolved from there. But that's what's so wonderful about writing, is the books just write themselves. You know, if you just kind of let it go. Did you find that when you wrote your book?
Yes, yeah, they just kind of felt, although mine is self-help book, so it's all true stories. Mine's about parenting your parents, but I am in the process of writing a children's book. If birds could talk, so you know, we'll see how it writes itself. But I've written a lot of short stories, so it ought to be fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what was the first book called?
The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. And then I wrote, I did a coloring and activity book. So then once you do two, you can trademark it. So I trademarked the series, and I wrote the third one, The Adventures of Abella and Her Magic Wand. And then, that's the second hardback book. And then the third one will come out in October. Abella starts a Tooth Fairy school.
Well, tell us a little bit about her adventures. Get us intrigued. What happened at first? I guess she had to become a Tooth Fairy. Is there initiation or?
Well, she was a very pampered, sequestered little fairy, and when she finally got out, she was kidnapped by a bee, and so she was in a whole new world. So I mean, the book really does kind of showcase courage and taking initiative and, you know, grabbing a hold of your fears and just moving forward. But it's focused about her and her best friend Darcy. And but Darcy's not too much in the first book because she isn't kidnapped. But once Abella starts following this little boy and gets his tooth, but she puts $1 in there, the story is born. So it's just been a lot of fun from there.
Now, did you have this story that you shared with your daughter when she was little?
No, but the book is, Abella is my daughter, or my daughter is Abella. And when we drew her, the illustrator and I worked months on just getting her eyes right. And he was very patient with me, but yeah, so I did my best to make her look a whole lot like my daughter, Brittany.
Oh, that is classic. Now, do you have any other children or just your daughter?
Right now, I just have my daughter. Yes.
Just your
Yes.
daughter. Yeah. Well, and tell us a little bit. You went on and you said Bella and her friend Dorsey and the wand.
Yes, they studied very hard and got their magic wands. And then they went on adventures and practiced. Well, Darcy's timid. She didn't want to practice. So, Bella is very outgoing. So she practiced and she did some good things, some bad things. And so the whole book is about taking responsibility and ownership. But what I love about that book is she did something to make her brother upset. And Darcy said, so Bella felt bad about herself. And she said, am I a troublemaker? She said, no, you're an awesome maker. Remember how you saved that little frog? And I love that in friends who don't let you focus on your faults. Because in the book, Bella did save a little frog from a crocodile. But then the next time, she goofed up her brother's baseball game and was only focusing on her bad behavior or her risky behavior, I guess.
Yeah, well, so you have some moralistic and some lessons throughout your books. It sounds like, you kind of let them know, it's okay if you make a mistake, but you need to, apologize for it or fix it or make something better the next time.
Yeah, well, it's funny because my grandson is the one who coined that phrase. He calls me Yaya. There was an incident and he goes, no, Yaya, you're an awesome maker. And I thought, oh, I have got to put that in my book. So that's how, she said, am I a troublemaker? No, you're an awesome maker. So that's how that came about.
So you do have one grandson?
I have two grandsons, yes.
Two grandsons.
Yes,
and
yes.
and you share your stories with them since.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're two of my biggest fans. Their school library carries the books and they're always checking them out and sending me, pictures of them in the book. So they're real sweet.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit of a drama queen myself, and I'm just wondering if I had a book that was about fairies, I would probably have a fairy outfit and a tiara and my own little wand. Do you have your fairy outfit and your wand and your tiara?
No, but I have ordered the wings and the wands because a lot of times I will donate a birthday package to a gala or a fundraiser, and it's usually, 10 books, 10 fairy wings, and 10 wands. So I just have it in that capacity, but I need to get that. You're right.
Oh my gosh, I can just, and you're beautiful, beautiful lady. I mean, this is so. Now I know you've got 3 books, and the third one is Bella starts a tooth fairy school.
Yes, because she comes back with this tooth, and there's a lot you can do with a little white tooth in Tulip Hollow. So, and everybody wanted one. And she was just overwhelmed. She said, well, I need to start a tooth fairy school and train all these fairies how to be tooth fairies. So that's what the third book is about, her starting the school and her and Darcy, going to letting Darcy do one of the little teeth. And, there's always adventure. There's always adventure. So it's a cute story. I really like it.
Yeah, and can you see other characters coming into your stories as you progress?
Yes, because she's got a brother, Gage, and he's been in all the books. Like last book, it was his baseball game she messed up. And then this book, I kept Gage in there and I added the Clark brothers, which are my 2 grandsons. So I will develop their character. The next book will be Bella Goes to the Rodeo. So that will be,
okay.
Who knows? Houston is huge in the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We're a big rodeo town. So
very, very good. I used to live in Clear Lake City, so I know all about it.
There you go.
Yes. I have been to many of the Houston Livestock Shows, but you know what? They're probably not having them right now during the corona, are they?
Well, I'll tell you, my husband was just made chairman of the board, and I just was named first lady of the rodeo. And
congratulations!
They meet about that every meeting. They talk about what are we going to do 2021. Everybody is just hoping, just believing the best, that there will be a vaccine or this will all pass.
Right.
And But
Well, when
it'd
you
be
get your,
devastating for this town.
when you
because-
get your wand, you can actually you can make it that.
There
But we're
you
going to have to take
go.
a short break here and let our sponsors
Okay.
do their thing. This is Charlotte. We're going to be right back and hear more about that faraway land.
I'm Rox Berkey.
And I'm Charles Brakefield. We're award-winning co-authors, Brakefield and Berkey, of the Enigma book series. There are 10 books in these series, with book number 11 planned for release in January 2020.
Each story has a central technology focus ranging from identity theft to cryptocurrency and now AI wars. These adult techno thrillers pit cyber good guys against cyber thugs across the darknet.
In our world, technology is today's weapon of choice. You can enjoy ebook format, paper, or Audible. We want your feedback.
Until the next story, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Randy James, independent voiceover producer in the Dallas, Texas area, available to write and record a 30-second commercial, much like the one you're hearing right now. It's a great way to help increase awareness and exposure to your book title. It's easy to do. Simply call me and we'll brainstorm on a few ideas, and in a few hours, I'll whip something up and send you a digital file ready to use. Remember, call or text me, Randy James, at 214-762-1942.
Welcome to IndieLector.store, an online bookstore where the discriminating reader can find award-winning books. IndieLector.store is not a big corporation, so we can give up to 80% of the sales directly to the author. Help us support them by buying a great book at IndieLector.store.
Hello, I am the author and poet Denise Bryson. I am the author of The Things That Cross My Mind, Love's Reality, both in book and audio form. I am also noted as one of the best poets of 2011. I have 2 new projects coming up. One is the Blinky series, where Blinky tells us all about our coins and our bills for our children. I also have a book coming out called Say Ye. It's quotes from Denise Bryson, just inspirational and that will help you along the way.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
This is Charlotte Canion, and we're speaking with Zane Carson Carruth, and she is the author of several books about fairies. And this amazing Abella becomes a tooth fairy. Now, let me ask you this, Zane. You said originally that you were talking about your daughter and you wanted to write about, you were probably a wonderful tooth fairy and you probably gave more than $1. What do you think what do you think the average amount ought to be given for a tooth? Or does it matter whether it's a little tooth or maybe one of your molars?
Well, I think it's like everything. It's just kind of gotten out of hand. I've done a lot of research on it. And, you know, when I was little, I got 25 cents, 50 cents. My daughter got $1. And now people, it's like, well, all I've got is, you know, a $10 in my wallet. But once you put that in there, you've set a precedence that you will always have to give that much. So, yeah, you have to be mindful of that when that tooth starts getting loose. Plan ahead.
But maybe in your book you can kind of tone it down and get them back in respect.
Yes, I need to address that. You're absolutely right.
Well, something I noticed, you have a website and you want people to share. So tell us a little bit about your website.
Okay, it's the world's, not the, but www.worldsfirsttoothfairy.com. And there is you can download a letter and write it to the Tooth Fairy. And sometimes we have, contests, but it showcases both books. And you can order the books online from my website. And I have little Abella and t-shirts for little kids, little girls. They're 2 different ones, one book and the other. And and then, you know, you can request a reading, like if you want me to come to your school or anything like that. They're just a way to contact me. So there's a lot on that website. It's very interactive.
Yeah, and you want people to go out there and share their tooth fairy stories. And what is one of the
Yes.
funniest ones? What is one of the funniest ones that you've heard?
Well, one of the cutest ones I've heard is the little boy woke up and there was no money, but the tooth was still there. And his mother thought real fast and she said, well, let's write the tooth fairy a little note in a letter and we'll see what happens. So that's what he did. He slid the note under his pillow. And I just loved it. I thought that was so kind and creative. And, you know, because kids' imaginations, they've got to be nurtured. I mean, they really have to be nurtured in order for people to be imaginative and to think outside the box and, I don't know, and to do great things. You've got to be able to be imaginative, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. One of the questions I always ask people if they use people in their family or people they know, and you've already told me you used your daughter and your son and you know, in your stories, is there anybody outside, like who is Darcy? You know, is she somebody you know?
Yes, she's actually, and she's based on my best friend. I grew up in El Campo, Texas. And when I wrote her, and actually I just told her about it, because you lose contact with your high school friends, and we reconnected, and she was just so touched that I would use her. But you know, she was the sweetest best friend in the world, and you know, just like Darcy, just willing to let me, I don't want to say take the spotlight, but be the wild one, and she'd just go along and just have fun with it. So, but yes, it's based on a girl named Amelia Vaslavic from El Campo, Texas.
You're really naming her.
yeah, I sent her copies of both books, and she was really pleased. But Darcy's a sweet little fairy. So anybody would be proud to be patterned after Darcy. Yeah.
Do you have other friends or family members that you might incorporate down the road?
Well, I plan to develop the personalities and the characters of the Clark brothers, my two little grandsons. And, you know, probably, I mean, I think I need to bring another girl in because right now I've got Gage, the Clark brothers, and Darcy. So they need a few more little friends. And we'll get there at the rodeo. That will be a big opportunity to bring in more friends. Bring in more friends.
Now, is Darcy or Bella gonna get on a horse and ride, or
I don't know, but I can just picture them with little cowboy boots on. I'm peeking out under their dress and a cowboy hat. I cannot wait to see what my illustrator can do with that. That's very imaginative. Yes.
Did you find your illustrator immediately? Because I know a lot of authors, even myself, I'm looking for an illustrator. Did you go through several before you found the right illustrator?
Yes, because they all tend to focus, like some of them are those superhero types, and some of them are pastel watercolor. Well, I wanted what I got, very bright, vivid colors. And I interviewed a lot of them and looked at their work. And then I've been using him from day one, and he's from India. So, but the time frame doesn't seem to be a problem. He, yeah, I mean, when I'm working, like right now, we're working on the illustrations for this last book, and he's always right there, very attentive, and he gets, you know, it takes him a while to draw them and color them in, but that is not an issue wherever they're from. It's not an issue with the internet nowadays.
So the time difference doesn't matter, you know, when you're communicating with someone from another country?
No, I mean, well, you very seldom have an illustration emergency. So, you know, anything would write him, I could wait till the next morning or the middle of the night. But no, there has never been an issue with the time difference. And actually, we have emailed back and forth, like in real time. So when he's online, you know, it's easy. But even when he's not, like I said, he plays catch up.
And y'all just make it work.
Yeah.
Do you know how many of these books are you just going to continue to crank them out as they come to you?
I'm just going to continue to crank. Matter of fact, yes, I'm going to continue to crank them out. And I'm having the first one translated into Spanish. It's already translated. I just need to that's a little bit more of a laborious task. I self-publish, so I have to make sure everything is right. So, and that's a little harder because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I'll get there. I've already got it translated, but now I need to get it checked, rechecked, and it'll be fine. It will just take a little bit longer.
So do you use a bilingual editor
Yes. I used a high school girl that is very fluent in Spanish, and I sent her the book and I broke it out in pages, so she'd know where the pictures were. And she translated it, and then I sent it to a bilingual editor, and they made just a few little corrections, but I don't know what they are. I mean, it could be Little Bo Peep for all I know, but I'm hoping it's my story. But you just have to go on faith, and I'll send it to one more person. And as long as I keep getting all these changes back, then it makes you a little nervous. But once everybody says no, that's fine, then I will send it to the lady who does the layout, because I don't have to have the pictures redone.
Right.
That, so.
Now, what made you decide to put it into Spanish? Did someone tell you? Was it advice or?
Well, I grew up, like I said, in El Campo, Texas, and there was a large Hispanic population. So I always had I always really liked and admired the Hispanics. They have a hard work ethic. And then we're involved in horse racing. And in Saratoga Springs, all the backstretch workers mostly are all Hispanic. And they travel with their little kids in the summer. And I thought, I want to give those little kids my book. I just want them to have it because, I sent the one in English to one of the daycares for the little kids. But I think it would mean a lot to them to see it in Spanish, in my opinion.
Okay, so there's not another language down the road that you might convert it into. You become an international thing, like French and German.
No. If I can get it in Spanish, I'll be one and done and happy.
And once you get the first one done, you're probably, have the others.
Yes.
The others translated.
Yeah, because Houston, Texas has a huge Hispanic population.
It does.
We have Hispanic TV and TV station here, and there's all kind of ways to market it. So that would be easy. It will be a challenge, but it won't be impossible.
What is the time frame? Are you talking 6 months, 8 months when you translate it from to another?
I would say 6 months, maybe not. I mean, to do a brand new book, it takes at least 9 months because it's just, you just have to get, you might not have self-published, but you have to do it all yourself. And it just takes time, and to get the illustrations and to get it put on, laid out by the printer and all of that. But no, I'm going to turn up the pace a little bit on this Spanish book because I'd like to see it done by the end of summer.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a short break here. This is Charlotte. I'm speaking with Zane Carson Carruth. We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching or listening to Indie Beacon Radio. Our sponsor, IndieLector.store, is the only bookstore that pays authors their fair share for book sales. Help authors to succeed and enjoy a great book by supporting them at IndieLector.store. Enjoy a 10% discount with coupon code SHOPPER20 at IndieLector.store. Coupon valid until December 31st, 2020. That's IndieLector.store, coupon code SHOPPER20.
The 5th Annual Authors Marketing Event. 2 days of live seminars in marketing for authors. The only organization that certifies authors in marketing. Live and free to the first 100 authors registered. Sponsored by Bubblish, empowering entrepreneurs, and Indie Lector Store, paying authors for their fair share. Head to www.2020.authorsmarketingguild.com today.
What started as a love letter to her son has become an international love letter for all parents to their children. Now you can read acclaimed author Shanalee Charbonneau's story to your children. When her son was very sick, she calmed him by singing her own song to him. She turned that song into the book, My Mama Loves Me, I'm Her Little Boy. She wrote 3 more magical books for all parents and kids 6 and under. Available at Indie Lector, Amazon, and all local and national outlets.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
This is Charlotte Canion, your host, and we're speaking with Zane Carson Carruth. And now she is the author of some wonderful children's books about Abella. And Abella is a tooth fairy. She teaches a tooth fairy school. She's got a good friend named Dorsey. These sound like just wonderful, wonderful books. Now, Zane, one of the things that our listeners will want to know is, what is your website? How can they get your books? Where your books are? I know you have an interactive website, which you told us a little bit about. You might, expound a little bit on that.
Yes, okay. It's the World's First Tooth Fairy, worldsfirsttoothfairy.com. And they also sell them on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and buy them. And they're in a lot of bookstores. There's some in New York, some in Houston, San Antonio. And all of that is listed on my website, what bookstores you can actually go to buy them. And, and Lila Bella has an Instagram account, so you can follow her there, which is World's First Tooth Fairy, at World's First Tooth Fairy, and a website, of course, and Facebook. So I'm pretty well connected.
You're pretty well set up
with social media.
I'm going to ask you one other quick question is, what would you tell a beginning author if they wanted to write a children's story? What would you tell them, how to get started?
I think there is magic in writing children's stories because the sky's the limit. I mean, you can have doorknobs that talk, trees that fly. You just have to relax and not put any parameters or box yourself in. Just let it go. I had a writer's block one time, and that's why I was trying too hard. But once I just relaxed, again, the stories just write themselves. But that's what I would tell them. Just try it. It's a lot of fun.
Let your imagination go. Zane, this has been a pleasure. It is just wonderful to get to meet you. And I'm Charlotte Canion, your host. And I want you to remember, a rose is like a book. You can't know its beauty until you look at it. And a book is like a rose. You won't know its full beauty until you open it. This is Charlotte. Bye for now. Stay safe.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website.
Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Canion. Indie Beacon Radio is produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for Authors Marketing Guild LLC, copyright 2020. Voiceover by Randy James, Lydia Bello, and B. Allen Bourgeois. To be a sponsor of the show or for more information, please email us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. To be interviewed for the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music Always Rejoice by Ramcord